I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida where the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
All right. Well, a good morning to you out there if you're tuning in and listening to us. Thank you for doing that. We greatly appreciate it. As always, it's an honor and a privilege to have you tune in and allow us to share with you some of the things that we do here on the Fish Florida Show, usually about fishing, but sometimes about the water. Always about something to do with the water. This morning I have Pam Worth with me. Welcome back, Pam. How are you, my dear?
Very good. Thank you for the invitation. I always enjoy sitting in with this show.
Yeah, it just wasn't quite the same without you last week, but I'm glad everything's okay.
Oh. Yep, hanging in there.
And we'll have Robert here. Robert helped me out for a little while. I'm always grateful for him. He stepped up and said, well, I can help you out for a little while, but we already got plans for the day. No big deal. So we made it work out. We'll have Mike Lendl on in a little while. Mike is with the King of the Glades tournament. We'll have Summer Warren. She's the Chasin Tailz lady. Mike Simko with kitefishing.com. Stacy McCaskill. She's with fishwithme.net. And Captain Clyde will finish it off at the end of the show today. So we got another wide variety of people. Captain Clyde's out in Louisiana. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, who was I thinking of? Stacy. I think Stacy's out of the state as well, too. I may be mistaken about that. We'll find out when we get her on. So any fishing last week, my dear?
Yeah, I did. I did a bunch of different types of fishing last week. And we went for in the kayaks for snapper and grouper and had a good time.
Cool.
Got a nice Spanish mackerel. They're very plentiful over on this side right now. So enjoyed it. And then got some big snook also.
Wow.
So it was a good weekend. It really was.
Well,
weather's been horrible this week, though. This weekend is yesterday is the first nice day we've had in over a week, where it wasn't, people were starting to build their arcs over here.
According to the weather map, we have a little bit of activity happening on the West Coast. Most of it is north of the Tampa area. We have a lot of activity in comparison to the West Coast. We have a lot of activity on the East Coast. Most of it is north of us. It's around Jacksonville and around, but it's offshore. Some of it is right in Jacksonville. The really bad stuff is offshore. And we've got some stuff offshore on Palm Beach as well. Scattered showers throughout the day today, so just be aware of that. High tide is at 12:22 today. The beach report is low chance of rip current, so we don't have to worry about that. Just remember that some of our beaches do have rocks, so just be aware of that. What else we've got? We've got, I was going to give you the... NOAA. NOAA says winds are going to be around 5 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet. It's going to continue like that throughout the day, and some thunderstorms as we approach the afternoon, which is in the cycle. We're in that cycle now. So it's another great day to go out there and enjoy yourself. If I'm going to have Stacy on in a little while. So those of you who don't have a boat, or those who have a boat, we're going to have some information for you, so don't go away. If you don't have a boat and you're looking for somebody to fish with, we're going to have an answer for you. And if you've got a boat and you're looking for somebody to fish with, we're going to have an answer for you. So, yeah, it's when Stacy comes on in a little while, we'll explain all that to you. So it looks like it's going to be a great day. Get out there and enjoy it. The oven, of course, is on high. We are in that, we're in that season. I was out doing some work yesterday, clearing out one of my little warehouses. And I got to tell you, within 10 minutes, I was soaked. I was drenched. It looked like I was taking a shower. I just couldn't, I don't know. I don't remember it being this hot when I was a kid. Maybe it's just because I'm older now and I don't seem to tolerate it as well as I did when I was younger. But I'll tell you what, do you find it really, almost unbearable sometimes?
I'm the opposite type of person. I can take the heat. I can't take the cold at all. When the second it gets cold, that's when I have problems.
Yeah. That's
but
why
even over here, seasoned captains, we had a couple seasoned captains have basically heat stroke over here.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, so stay hydrated. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
stay hydrated.
I drank a lot of water, and I think about as fast as I drank it, it was like in the cartoons I used to watch when I was a kid. When somebody would have something happen to their body and they drink water and their body would just have holes come, the water all coming. That's what I felt like. I felt like a little sprinkler. I'd just drink it and it'd just come right back out again. So I was really surprised at how miserably miserably hot. I mean, I'm out there every day, but it's different when you're out. I don't know how some of these people work out there. It's for me. I mean, when I say when I'm out there every day, 5 days a week, I'm traveling throughout Palm Beach County somewhere, doing a service call. But I'm in my car; it's air conditioned, so the few minutes that I spend between the car and the building, okay, I can feel the heat, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm in the heat. I've been in it for 15 or 20 minutes straight, and I'm soaking wet. These people work on the roofs and work on the yards. God bless them. I don't know how they do it. It really is really hot.
If you do it every day, it's you can tolerate it better. And then, just like you said, certain bodies are more designed for it than others.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
I agree. Well, the one thing that I think about, and I mean this honestly, all the time that I've been fishing and it's been pretty hot out there. I don't remember breaking out in a sweat like I did yesterday. A little sweat here and there, but I guess if you're enjoying yourself, your body doesn't tend to. I don't know. It seemed like because I was lifting all this stuff and it was dirty and grimy, I'd been in the warehouse for gosh, I don't know how long. And it just added to the problem. My shirt was black, and it was a dark color before we started. But it was black by the time I was done. My face was black. Oh, my gosh. So another little venture of mine out of the way, and we'll move forward on to the next thing, that kind of thing. But I don't, I think, let's see, Summer's going to be on, so she's going to be able to tell us about her tournament. Is her tournament going, do you know? I don't know anything about her tournament. Shame on me, I should.
Yeah, I don't either. I haven't talked to her in a little bit, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, hi!
We'll find out when she comes on in a little while about what's going on with her. In the meantime, I expect to hear from Robert here in the next couple of minutes. We'll have Robert on. I think he just finished up the last episode of the Florida Fisherman magazine. Got quite a bit in there.
I saw it online. It looks pretty good.
You can see that it takes a lot of work. A lot of work. I can't imagine. You have all these people sending you all this information. Now you've got to take it and disseminate it and figure out how you're going to organize it and who's going to go where. And then when you look at it, you see that I know from personal experience. Now I haven't done a web page in many, many years, but many years ago I built a website. So I have a little bit of experience in it, and it was a major pain in the drain because it's not something I do all the time. So I can't imagine having to do this month in and month out with all of these pages. It's not just a 4 or 5 page. It's not a 4 or 5 page magazine. My gosh, there's a bunch of pages there, videos, pictures, all kinds of stories. Anyway, we'll have him on in a minute, and he'll kind of fill us in on what the latest and greatest is there. So any plans?
You know what I like about it? What I like about it so much is it's really diversified. It has a number of different writers.
Yeah.
So you get different views and different takes on, just different. I keep saying different a lot, but it is. It's very diversified.
It's a variety. Yeah. Big variety.
I love it.
I like the idea that it's digital and people can send in videos and you can see. I mean, pictures. They say pictures worth 1,000 words. Imagine what the video does. I wanted to see the video. I don't know. I had asked Robert to see if he could get the captain on. I wanted to see the video of this huge swordfish that was caught. About a month or so ago. 700 and some. I think it was 700 and some odd pounds in Islamorada. A huge swordfish. I wanted to see the video. That fought it for 8 hours. I can't imagine. All day long, fighting a fish like that. I mean to tell you, I probably would have had to take a vacation after that.
Yeah, it's like some of those big tunas.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh, yeah. Well, I think we have him on the line. Good morning, Robert. Is that you?
Good morning.
How are you, my friend?
I am great. Hi, Pam.
Hi, good morning, sir. I saw a little bit of the magazine.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It looked awesome. You did a great job.
Well, it's not quite done. All we've got done is the cover and about half of the magazine. We got a lot of extra content that came in late, so it's not going to be out until the 4th.
Okay.
But we're getting there. We're getting there.
Well, I was just saying, you can look at the magazine, you can see it's a lot of work that goes into this magazine, and a lot of great information, a wide variety of stuff, videos, pictures, stories. You do a good job. You do a good job, Robert.
Well, Sky, who's on the cover, was out of town at a funeral, so we didn't get her stuff in until late. So.
Oh, wow.
And then there was some other stuff that came in late. As a matter of fact, we're Liza Fitzgerald, who I was talking to last week on the show.
Yeah.
Lindsay got in touch with her, or should have gotten in touch with her by now. We're doing a story on her and the CCA.
Oh, great.
So that was
Great.
That was going to run a little late. So
Cool.
It just ran behind this month for some reason, but it's okay. It'll be out by the 4th, and we'll get it done.
Yeah, Liza, she was one of the first female captains guides, and she was a big winner on the redfish tournament circuit.
That's good.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yep, back in the day.
Well, I love people like that. They're constantly giving back, and that's really, that's what it's about for me. It's giving back, because when you give back, everybody benefits, and I'm part of everybody. I mean, I know I say that a lot, but that's really what it's about. Is fixing it in such a way where everybody benefits, and that way you benefit at the same time. Any fishing last week, Robert?
A little bit, and we just went out snapper fishing and caught a few, but snapper fishing's been great. As everybody saw, red snapper season went very well. So, our East Coast snapper season is over, but it went very well. Everybody did well. You're still catching them. There's no way to avoid them almost, but they are certainly not endangered. I can tell you that. So.
I wish they'd leave it open just a little tiny bit longer,
That would be nice.
You have to almost, pray that the weather's great on the few days that it's open, and that you can actually get out there and catch them, have the opportunity.
And you don't run into a bottom current that's in excess of 4 knots. So,
yep.
Where it takes 1.5 pounds of lead to hold the bottom, but it looks like mini lobster season went very well everywhere. So
cool.
I try to avoid that one like the plague. That's like walking into a circus. But
I wonder when they have these seasons, it's like the snapper season we were just discussing, how many of them get caught, and then because people aren't using. I wasn't familiar with circle hooks until you guys told me about them. I mean, I know it makes me sound pretty silly, but I didn't. That's the honest truth. I'd seen them. I didn't really understand what the purpose of them was. But so I'm sure there's other people out there that aren't aware of, and they're using J hooks, and they're hooking. Some of these snappers are going to get gut hooked, and they're going to end up dying. I think that we should make provisions for that. Why? What's the purpose in catching? First of all, if you're a responsible angler and it's not the season for them, you're not typically fishing for them, but you catch one, and then unfortunately it gets gut hooked. I think you should be able to keep it. It's just one of those things. But it seems like every time we turn around, there's something new going on with regulations and stuff in the water. My gosh, when we were kids, we just went fishing. Just go fishing. Whatever you catch, if you're not going to eat it, you throw it back. And if it's going to die,
and that's part of the problem. I mean, red snapper fishing is bottom fishing, so depending on the depth that fish comes up from, it may not live anyway.
That's right. That's true. Good point.
Even if you're using circle hooks, there's a chance the fish is going to die. You can poke a little hole in them and try to vent them out, but it just doesn't work every time. So a lot of these fish die needlessly, don't get eaten, just die.
Yeah.
And,
it seems kind of a waste.
Well, what's funny too is I think it was the University of Florida that did some research, and they found that when puncturing them didn't save the mortality at all. One of the better things is that I don't know if you've seen it. That release where it has a weight and it almost has like a fish grip on it, where you send them down to the bottom and then it automatically releases them. They said that has done a lot better than anything.
Wow.
else.
See, this is what I love about the show. I didn't even know anything like that existed.
Yeah, it's really cool. It came out a couple years ago.
I haven't seen them. I've certainly never seen one used, so
That's
maybe it is
great.
something that people should become more familiar with, because I've never seen one used either. So.
Oh, okay. They're real popular over here. So
I'm glad you brought it up.
Our snapper season is so short over here that probably no one knows what they are.
Right.
Robert, anything else going on? I'm sure sailfish are out there, right?
Oh, there's still sales out there, and this little cool front or whatever we had come through last week seems to have taken the bite off of the mahis, at least in this area. They're still going crazy down in the Keys, but took the bite off for a few days, and hopefully that'll come back, and we will see what comes this week. So.
Yeah, I was talking to some friends, and it seems like all of a sudden this week the current really picked up.
Yeah,
my kayaker friends, we're very, very current aware.
Yeah,
well, and like we've talked before, there's a top current and there's a bottom current. When that bottom current's going 4 knots, it makes it very, very difficult to fish anything off the bottom.
I can imagine. You can't keep it down there.
Just because of you can't, and the amount of lead that it takes is, you need a big 3-wide reel just to get the lead up and down.
So I guess in circumstances like that, I guess is when you go, okay, top water.
Yeah, top water, or hey, how about some bass fishing today?
There you go. Won't have to worry about if you're bass fishing, that's for sure. Not anywhere that I've seen anyway, not at 4 knots.
No, it gets ridiculous. But, it's how the ocean takes care of itself, so we got to let it do that too. So.
Amen. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah, cleans it out.
Let it do its thing.
So, yeah, we've got the second part of SummerSlam coming up in 2 weeks.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, not next weekend, but the following weekend.
Now, is that in Pompano again?
Yeah, I'll be down in Pompano.
Will you be down for the weekend or just one day?
No, I'll be down for the weekend, so
cool.
I'll come live in the studio
Whoa.
from Sunday.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, she said it on the air. Hold her to it. She's going to come by.
She will be live.
Well, that's always debatable.
It's like my
every day I wake up, it's a good one. So
Exactly.
It's like my.
That'd be fun. I may try to get over there this weekend too for a day, just to kind of pre-fish and check out some tackle that I'm using.
Cool.
But yeah, it'd be a good time. That's why I'm like watching the currents very, very closely.
Well, yeah, if you're on the East Coast, yeah, I'd keep an eye on those. They've been brutal out there. So.
Yeah, but I was watching Brian Nelly, and he's pushing water kayaks. He basically does a lot of offshore. He's a guide out there, and they've been doing great. They've gotten still a lot of kingfish around. He's been jumping probably 1, 2, 3 sails every day.
Wow.
Cudas. We haven't had a lot of barracudas, but lately a few barracudas have been in the mix.
Yeah, a friend of mine ran into those yellowtail fishing down in the Keys last weekend. They went down for mini lobster season, decided to go out and get some yellowtail to go with it, and ended up having to catch
feeding
a
the barracudas.
Barracuda just to get him out of the yellowtail. So
feeding the barracudas. That's what we do down in the Keys. We feed the barracudas. They are some smart fish, let me tell you. I think I've shared this with you before. I was down there one time with my dad. God bless him. I was down there with my dad and my brother. And we were fishing shallow water, about 30 feet, 35 feet. And you could almost see the fish down there. And we'd hit it upon a group of snappers. And we were having a great time. We're pulling up a fish every once in a while, nice size fish, a couple of pounds apiece. And then my dad caught a fish, and he was pulling it up, and all of a sudden you could see the rod just double over. It was coming up relatively easy, and all of a sudden the rod doubled over. And I said, oh, no. And my dad didn't realize what was happening. He just, I got a big one, blah, blah, blah. So he comes up with just a head. That's all that's left. That's what he left us with, the head. I said, okay, it's time to pick up and move. So we picked up and moved, and we traveled for probably 20 minutes. So we had to travel at least 3 or 4 miles from the destination that we were. And you could see this in the water down there. So what I love about the water is clear. It is just gorgeous. This bluish green color. So we traveled for a good 20 minutes. We we drifted for a little while, caught some fish. No, didn't seem to have any problem. As soon as we anchored up, this little monster was sitting under the boat so you couldn't see him. I tell you, they're smart little guys. He's sitting under the boat so we couldn't see him. So as we bring the fish up, just as you see your fish coming up to the boat, it's gone, and he leaves you the head. And we moved several times, and in the several times we moved, I believe it was the same one following us. It was just an easy meal. It was no work. All I got to do is follow this big shadow, and as soon as the shadow stops, I just sit out under the shadow and wait. The food comes to me.
In the shade, get in the shade, have a little lunch. Not bad.
My dad was furious.
Dad should have caught him. That would have taken care of it.
A good week. Bill Nast over on the West Coast has had a phenomenal week over there, tarpon fishing with his clients and stuff. He has had a outstanding week over there on the West Coast. So he's in Yankee Town, I believe.
Yeah, he does real well.
I'm going to take a break, but I want to ask Pam, what did you say to stop it? You said something to stop it. The barracuda. What would you say?
Oh, you said all you had to do is catch it.
Catch him.
Yeah.
Well,
that's exactly what you have to do. You have to catch the barracuda.
This one was pretty big. I don't know that I want him in the boat. Well,
they smell so bad in the boat that I don't let them in the boat. But you can certainly keep them on the line and let them just hang out there for a little bit, and then let them go. So.
All right. Well, it's break time, and Robert, you're welcome to hang on if you like. I know you probably got something else that you plan for the day, but I greatly appreciate you calling in, my friend. Again, you're welcome to hang on if you like, and I hope you enjoy your day out there. Thank you so much for what you do. Before we go, though, I want to, if people want to see this magazine that we've been talking about, what's the website, Robert?
It's www.flfishmag.com, and if you've got things to send them to pages@flfishmag.com.
Yeah, he will consider, your pictures, your videos, your stories. He will consider that.
We have a few this month from readers. We have a few of them. So.
Oh, cool. Cool. Yep. All right, my friend, God bless you. And again, if you want to hang on, you're welcome to. Otherwise, I wish you a wonderful day. We're off.
Great Sunday, guys.
Thanks. Oh, that was what was supposed to happen. What happened there? We got the board isn't working right. There we go.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Grace has some pretty stellar arms, like Serena Williams good, but her face is pretty disgusting.
Someone please tell him to go back into his closet and leave us alone.
Brittany's face is so stupid and I hate her so much. It's like a scientist created her in a lab to annoy humanity and didn't even do that good of a job.
Megan reminds me of a troll doll that came to life intent on killing us with her stupidity.
Why is Grace's head so big? It definitely has nothing to do with how smart she is and probably everything to do with how bloated she is.
He's so funny. Just kidding. Who would find this disfigured flamingo funny?
Never post a selfie of yourself. You look so ugly.
The only reason you have so many views is because we think you're a freak and we can't look away.
Megan is the main reason that the world sucks so much.
I would rather get cancer than listen to another Trevor Moran song.
You are a mistake. You should have never been born.
Drown yourself in a shallow puddle, please.
Wow, I hope she's sterile.
These really stopped being funny a long time ago.
You're so much more than the things that people say about you. Those people have no right to say cruel things to you to make themselves feel better.
It's okay that you sound different than everyone else.
That's what makes you so special.
We will not tolerate it.
We will not tolerate it.
We will not tolerate
We will not tolerate it.
Every day, people make me feel like I stand out simply because of the way that I look.
Every day, people make me feel small.
Every day, I face the cruel words of bullying. And every day, people tell me that I'm brave for enduring this humiliation.
But we're not the brave ones.
It's the ones that say no to the bullying.
The witnesses.
If we all join together, there's nothing that we can't do.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
When we see bullying online,
We will let the world know that we're going to take action with the eye.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
Our actions will overpower cruel words.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
There is power in words.
But it's nothing compared to the power of the actions that we put behind our words.
Visit eyewitnessbullying.org to learn more.
I am a witness, and so are you.
I'm gonna stand by you.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
All right, we are back. It is the Fish Florida Show. Good morning to you if you're just joining us. What a beautiful day we are enjoying down here in South Florida, on both coasts, actually. And it's going to be a great day to get out there and enjoy what we have. We have water, 3 sides around us, and we have thousands and thousands of lakes. So if you don't like water, you're not in the right place. There's water everywhere. And it's, maybe you don't want to go fishing today. Maybe you just want to get out and go swimming. Do some swimming, enjoy the water. Or maybe you want to go out there and, those of you who have the jet skis, the pleasure craft, as I refer to, just get out there and enjoy that. Got a lot of places you can do it all around, and it looks like it's going to be a good day. This morning I've got Pam Wirtz. She's one of the top female kayak anglers here in Florida. I love having Pam on because she brings a unique perspective. She's literally at the water's surface fishing, and some of the pictures that she has submitted are truly awesome. When you see somebody in a kayak that has their hands on a fish, it's almost at least 3/4 the size of that kayak. And you realize there's not a whole lot of room to work with here. You got to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you could be swimming with that fish as well. So thank you for joining, Pam. I greatly appreciate it.
My pleasure. As I told you before, I love the show. Your guests are always very interesting. It's informative. We talk about a lot of different things, so it's great. But yeah, my goal in the kayak is always to stay in it.
and as dry as possible.
Well, that doesn't always work out. I've had to do some launches where you're going through the breakers.
Oh, yeah.
So there's been a number of times where I've been totally soaking wet before I even got out in the water, it seemed like. But it's a good time. It really is. As I was saying before, we've got the part 2 of the Extreme coming up in a couple of weeks in Pompano. So that's always a lot of fun. So anybody over there that's going to be in Pompano a week from, not this Saturday coming up, but a week from Saturday, might be a good time. Come by, see us all. We all talk about our kayaks and what equipment we're using, everything.
Is that Joe Hector? Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll see. I'll reach out to him this week and see if we can get him on next week, a week prior to the tournament, and give us a lowdown on what he's expecting. He was kind enough to do that last time, and I thought it was very interesting. I'm amazed that he's able to organize all this and get it all working between him and his wife, if I'm not mistaken. They get it all together and make it work, and it's an all-day affair. It's not just we go fishing and we're done. They have an afterwards affair, and it's quite a deal. So I was really amazed at how much was involved in it. So I'll be.
And on
Go ahead.
Thursday at the captain's dinner, they usually have it at Brew House, and the raffle is for, I forgot which children's function, but it's like for a children's hospital. So all the money from the raffles goes directly to them, and he's raised thousands of dollars for them.
Right now, see, that's a passion of mine. That's a heartstring of mine. When we can give back, when we're in a position that we can give back, and give back to some of the most innocent that we have is the kids. So the environment that we have today isn't like the environment that you and I grew up in. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff out there that can make people sick, and we see it. The results of that are how many children we see. And when you reach out and do something, that really touches my heart. That's my voice is going on me. That's what happens when you stay up to 1 o'clock in the morning, fooling around. Anyway, I think I have Mike Lendl with me. Mike, is that you that's on the line with us now?
Yes, sir. Sorry I'm a little late. I had some issues with my ducks this morning.
Oh, no worries. I'm glad that is everything okay?
Yeah, no, I got 12 Aflac ducks that I adopted from my mom, gave them to me a couple weeks ago, and they were out back, and one of the neighbor's cats were trying to mess with them, so I ran out back real quick.
Save the ducks.
Yeah, my neighbors call me Papa Duck now.
Papa Duck. Yeah, well, could be a lot worse. So let's get an update on what's going on in the I think the Glades tournament is done now, right?
Yeah, most of the King of the Glades and most of the tournaments down here are done. There's a few night tournaments that are going on. They're catching like 25-pound bags at night right now because the fish are starting to feed more heavily at night than during the day because of the heat. Mm-hmm. The water cools down at night, so they're throwing buzz baits and topwater frogs and stuff at night to catch them. I was up at Okeechobee yesterday. I'll tell you, it was brutally hot out there, but I did catch some fish early in the morning. There was a good early morning bite on topwater baits. Caught some later in the day flipping. There's not much to flip up there. I think they've sprayed every piece of grass on the lake, but there's some Kissimmee grass around, but no, there's no offshore grass at all. I just saw the governor signed a paper. They're going to start building a reservoir north of Okeechobee to start cleaning the water north of Okeechobee to bring it in, but they still need Okeechobee to be a filter, and the only way it's going to be a filter is
with the grass.
There, right. Yeah, there's a big tournament next weekend, the Roland Martin's tournament, and usually they get over 100 boats, and everybody's searching for some kind of pattern, some kind of offshore grass, and it's very difficult to find any grass offshore at all. I'm talking even the native grass like pepper grass or eel grass or any kind of grass offshore. They totally sprayed the hydrilla to the point to where normally when you spray hydrilla, a couple years later it'll start growing back. It's not even growing back. So I'd like to see the University of Florida go out there and take some land samples and see how much of this chemicals they've been spraying on this lake is actually embedded into the soil, because there's just nothing growing.
So some of the ideas that they have is really concerning. And if I'm not mistaken, the majority of what they spray to kill this stuff is Roundup. And Roundup is Roundup should not be legal. I don't want to get political, but that's just the truth of the matter. All you have to just go do a little research online. You'll see Roundup is directly responsible, has been found directly responsible by a court of law for cancer, for blood cancers. Got to stay away from that stuff. And
the problem is you get 100 boats out there, and 5 of them are going to find fish. 5 of them are going to come back with a 20, 25-pound bag, and then all the people that are going to spraying and stuff say, look, the lake is healthy. They don't look at the other, 98 boats that didn't do anything, So it's a very difficult situation. It's very frustrating because it was only 3 years ago the lake was full of grass. Now there's nothing.
Now we have no filters.
Totally moved it.
What is it? FWC doing the spraying? Who's doing the spraying and why?
FWC is in control of spraying, and they use the University of Florida to do the studies on the spray to see what supposedly the effects are. There's floating cabbage and hyacinth and stuff, which is non-native. It chokes up the boating lanes, and under what their original agreement was that they were going to typically just spray the boating lanes, which there's so many tournaments on Okeechobee, the bass boats alone cutting through all these lanes keep them open. They really, so
I could see her.
So they're saying they got to get rid of the hyacinth, so they lowered the lake level way down, so because hyacinth kind of has a tendency to stay near the shoreline. So they just pretty much put it on land. They lowered the lake till there was no water there. Then they're lighting it on fire. But it's just a continuously pounding of the spraying. They got a $3 million a year budget to spray. So, they don't want to lose that money. They don't want to lose the jobs.
That's one of the crazy things.
One of the biggest problems is the people that they hired to do the spraying aren't even from Florida. They're from Georgia. They bring their airboats down here. So I don't even think they know what they're spraying. I've seen them out there just dumping their stuff. And they say that they don't get paid per trip. It's, so they don't really need to dump their stuff. But I've seen guys out there just randomly spraying anything just to get rid of their load.
We've dedicated a whole show to the water quality, and then we've had several guests come on and follow up. Last week I had John Heim, who's a water activist, come on and tell us where he's at on the West Coast is having issues. And many of the issues that they're having in the ocean can be traced back to what's going on in the lake because of the improper discharges of the lake and the improper filtration. I can't remember the name of which river it was, or the Crystal River or something that used to snake down. The Army Corps decided they didn't want it snaking anymore, and they made it a straight line, and the filtering went away. And so we have more. It's just adding problems on top of problems. And people should be aware of this. I mean, again, I said early on, we're surrounded by three sides on this state of water. And if that wasn't enough, we have thousands, literally probably tens of thousands, to be honest with you, of lakes all through Florida. So if you're somebody who doesn't care about the water, you're in the wrong place, because we have water all around us, and it's vital to our life. It is absolutely vital to our life, not only for entertainment purposes, but for life itself. And we've got to be able to take care of our water. Unfortunately, we've had some irresponsible people, and it has really come down to the dollar sign. That's what the sad thing is. You're not going to be able to eat money if you destroy our environment to the point where people can't enjoy it anymore. All the money that you made is not going to be able to help you at that point. I'd like to avoid that.
I'd like to really find out what their true intentions are, because they never really give a clear answer in these FWC and water management meetings. I'd like to see what their true intentions for Okeechobee is. Is it going to be a water cleaning reservoir? Because number one, it should be the biggest STA area in Florida. There should be more plants in Okeechobee than anywhere else in the state.
Yep.
And or are they going to make it a water reservoir where they raise it up after they fix rebuild the levee around there and raise it up to a amount of height that plant can't grow anyway? So it's just going to be storage for water. So they need to figure out which way they're going with this thing. And personally, if you go out to the STA area right off 27 by the Holy Lands that they opened up, you have to have a kayak or a john boat with no motor. But if you go out into this STA area, there's thousands of miles of hydrilla and plants, and forget that the fishing is amazing out there. I mean, you catch 6 to 8 pound bass all day long.
Wow.
But the water quality, you can see it. It's crystal clear. The filtration system is there, and that's what Okeechobee needs to be. And I don't want to sound like depress everybody, but because the fishing is good out in the Everglades right now. Mile marker 41 on the alley. There's still a great bite out there. Like I said, the nighttime fishing is great out there. Okeechobee does have some fish. It's just, you got to imagine they chase the bluegill and shad in shallow in the morning, so you get a good early morning bite. But the problem is there's nowhere for these bass to pull off onto when it gets real hot later in the day to stage, because there's no offshore grass. So nobody has really figured out where they're going after they come in to feed to go catch them offshore. It's just a real strange situation. And they're not lowering the lake now, so there shouldn't be much of an algae talk, this year as far as on the east or west coast, because they're not dumping water. They already lowered it. There's
Yeah, they've kept it. Yeah, they've kept it low, from what I understand. Purposely kept it low. You mentioned a couple of things that I had spoke about, Pam and I had spoke about, and that was the heat. You said that it was unbearably hot. I was out in it yesterday for a brief period of time, a couple of hours, and oh my God, it just completely drained me, totally drained me. So people who are out there working, and I said, I can't remember a time where I went fishing and I sweat like I did yesterday. It seems like when I'm enjoying myself, it's this little sweat here, a little sweat there. And then you described it as just unbearable.
Well, yesterday, for example, I found some fish flipping, but I wanted to switch to a heavier weight because I found something in the rim ditch. The grass that I found wasn't even on the lake. There was a little patch of stuff I'm not talking, miles of stuff. I'm talking maybe, 10 feet of stuff that I got lucky and found. And I switched to a heavier weight. And I left my weight on top of the boat, my weight box on top of the deck of the boat. And when I grabbed one of the weights out of it, I literally thought it was going to burn through my hand. That's
oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah, it's amazing how it picks up the heat. Well, Mike, I appreciate you calling in, and I'm sorry I'm out of time at this point. We got to take a break, but before we go, you want any parting words that you want to tell? If somebody wants to get a hold of you, I think you have a website as well, right?
Yes, we do the King of the Glade series. It's www.kotgseries.com. The King series starts up in January, and it does start in Lewiston, and then we transfer back down to the Everglades, and we kind of go back and forth. So it's a fun series. Want to come out and have a good time, come out. And I just like to say, if you want to go out to the Everglades right now, catch a fish, get yourself some bruiser baits, big nasties from BJ's Bait and Tackle, and go out and crush them and have fun. And hopefully, and keep our fingers crossed, Okeechobee gets fixed.
We'll keep our fingers crossed and pray. Pray will make all the difference. Yes, any parting words there?
You guys have a great day.
Thank you. Any parting words there, Pam?
No, I was just going to say thank you for keeping us updated on what's going on there. And hopefully this governor will help switch things around. Seems like he's taking a positive attitude.
We can also.
So he's taking a positive attitude. We just the state just needs, everybody around just needs to get together.
There you go.
And tell this guy Okeechobee should be the biggest ST area we have. There should be miles of plants in there.
Yeah.
Let it choke up. Leave the crossing lanes for the people that want to go from east to west coast. Let that. Just keep that clean. Don't worry about the rest of the lake. The bass anglers will keep that open.
It'll pretty much take care of itself. All right, my friend. God bless. Wish you a wonderful day. We're off to take a break. We'll be back.
Is an adventure full of special moments.
A cruise?
Surprise! Unexpected moments.
I got this.
And even awkward moments.
Okay, Dad, thank you.
But every moment you spend with your kids, even the smallest moments, can make the biggest impact on your child's life. So take a moment to be a dad today.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I wasn't sure if I could do it. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but the teachers, the counselors, they help you. One of the teachers was Miss Araceli. Miss Araceli, she gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll come over and she'll sit there with you until you get it. Thank you, Miss Araceli. I know you make a difference in people's lives because of the person and teacher you are. I wanted to be here because I wanted to thank you for helping me get a beautiful gift. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work. Getting your high school diploma, it is a life-changing experience. It really is.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Have you ever heard of Audible? Audible is a website with hundreds of thousands of audiobooks. They're all high quality, easy to listen to, and, best of all, if you take advantage of a special deal that we've worked out for you, you can get one for free. That's right, a free audiobook of your choice in any genre, simply by going to audibletrial.com/openeyes and signing up for the free trial. It's simple to do, and it would support the shows that we bring to you, and hey, you get a free book out of the whole thing. So why not take advantage of it today? Go to audibletrial.com/openeyes and sign up for the trial.
Ask 10 different scientists about the environment, population control, genetics, and you'll get 10 different answers. But there's one thing every scientist on the planet agrees on. Whether it happens in 100 years, or 1,000 years, or 1,000,000 years, eventually our sun will grow cold and go out. When that happens, it won't just take us. It'll take Marilyn Monroe, and Lao Tzu, and Einstein, and Morobuto, and Buddy Holly, and Aristophanes. All of this was for nothing. Unless we go to the stars.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun. Oh, I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
All right, we are back. It is the Fish Florida Show. Good morning to you if you're just joining. We've already had a couple of guests on, and just to let you know, we have archives set up. You can go to www.fishfloridashow.com, and you'll find all the archives there. We try to make it easy for everybody to be able to access the show. And the easiest way of all is you can download our app. We actually have an app. It's absolutely free. It's not just free to download. It's free to use. The Fish Florida app. You find that in any of the major stores. The easiest way to listen to the show is through the app. And it's not just an app just to listen to the show. It's an app that is actually a powerful tool in the palm of your hand for those of you who are out there trying to figure out tides for the day, the weather report for the day, just a wide variety of information, an entire encyclopedia sometimes, if you want to refer to it that way. You can even apply for a fishing license through the app. So there's a lot of it's not just to listen to the show. I don't want people to be misled. It is the easiest way to listen to the show, but it goes far, far further than that. And then you can always go Facebook. If you are on a computer and you want to listen to us online, you can go to Facebook. You find our Facebook page, click on Contact Us, and you'll be connected directly to our server. Or you can go to fishfloridashow.com and click on Listen Live. So we try to make it easy for you. We even got a phone number for those of you who may be limited in data or you're having a problem with wherever you're at with data, but you've got unlimited calling. You can actually call to listen, believe it or not. We have a 701-719-9704. You can actually call and listen. You won't be able to get into the board on the show, but you can listen. So again, we try to make it as easy as possible for everybody, and we truly enjoy each one of you that spend time with us on Sunday mornings. For me, it is a learning process, a constant learning process. I learned this morning. So hopefully some of you out there will learn as well. That's what life really is about. It's about learning. Is that right, Miss Pam?
It is. The day you stop learning is the day you die.
Amen.
And also, if y'all have any suggestions, if you'd like to hear somebody on the show or a certain topic, I am either one of us, and we'll try to make that happen for you.
Yeah, you can reach us on, you can find us on Facebook, both of us. You can find Rascala Stevens on Facebook. You can find Fishbook, Fish Florida Show on Facebook. And you can find Pam Worth. And Pam is WIRTH. And you can find her on there as well. We have open posting on the Fish Florida Show, so you can post there if you like. You got a picture you want to share with us, you'll find some pictures there with some of the other people that have been on the show and shared with us. There's a picture of Pam there that's got this sailfish that she's got a hold of, and it's really impressive. Really, really impressive. So, again, we try to make it as easy as we can for you on the other side of the microphone to not only enjoy what we're doing, but to be part of it. I love it when people get involved. As if anybody's listened to the show at any degree of time, you know I love it when people get involved because we make it better for everybody. I'm part of everybody. I was hoping to hear from Summer. She may be having an issue of some sort. She hasn't called in yet, but hopefully before this slot is up, we'll hear from her and we'll get an update on Chasin Tailz. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's already happened, but we'll find out for sure. So anyway, when we were talking earlier about all the different seasons that we have, now you're coming over to our side in 2 weeks, and the tournament that you're getting involved in, what are they going to be focusing on? Mackerel?
Well, you're only allowed to catch or keep 2 mackerel, king mackerel. But basically, it's one of the few tournaments that I entered that actually is a weigh-in tournament where you have to bring the fish in. Everything else is catch, photograph, and release.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, last year they got I think a 52-pound wahoo, something crazy like that. So wahoo
in a kayak? Was that a kayak?
Wahoo.
Holy smokes!
Yep. And you can see all these fish. We bring them back with us. I brought in a monster barracuda last time. So, you have an opportunity to see all the different fish. The only fish we actually don't bring in is a sailfish. Those are always released. Even though by law you can, we try to follow some of the IFGA guidelines and consider them a sports fish and release them back into the water. The fish that we bring into the scale, if we ourselves don't want to keep them, all the meat is donated to, and they're kept on ice. They're kept really fresh, but the meat is donated to different charities. Charities that feed.
Wow.
I'm not saying that correctly, but all that meat is donated.
Yeah, that's great.
And at the captain's meeting, the raffle, which is a lot of different organizations. Railblazer donates. I think Hobie donates. There's Costa is a big sponsor. Well, they all donate product, which again we raffle off, and all the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds of that raffle go to some of the children's. What do I want to say? I think it's the Children's Hospital. We'll have to ask Joe on that. I apologize that I don't know exactly.
We know it's going to kids, though, right? We know it's kids. The bottom line, it's going to kids, and that's that's one of the heartstrings of mine. Get back into put back into the kids because that's our future. That's what we have. These are when they grow up. Guess what? They're the people who are going to be the doctors and the pilots and the politicians. So we got to make sure that we give them good background, good foundation, and take care of them. Take care of them as they grow older. Again, they're the ones who are going to be making decisions for a lot of us, and we don't do it right, we would be suffering. That's for doggone sure. Wow. Yeah. So I'm interested in finding out a little bit more about that. I'll reach out to him here this week and see. Anyway, I haven't heard from Summer, so she may be having issues of some sort as well. Not able to call in, and she is with the Chasin Tailz tournament. And I want to say the tournament I think has already happened, but again, was hoping to hear from her. We could get an update on that. So on your side of the state, you were telling me that you worked all last week because you guys had an open tent or something. We're
having a big tent sale. The ICAST was the week before. ICAST is the big industrial fishing expo, and it's closed to the public. And they bring out all the newest lures, the newest rods, boats sometimes. I mean, just if it has to do with fishing, it's there. It's in Orlando, and it's an all-week affair, and it takes you at least a day to 2 days just to see all the different exhibits and talk with everyone. So we had done a big purchase on new items that are coming, and Tampa Fishing Outfitters is noted for having the newest things and everything. We carry just about every reel there is and about every rod there is. I mean, our selection is crazy. But to make room for all the new merchandise, we're having a big tent sale. So, I mean, I've got dialer rods at 50% off. I've got Falcon rods, 50% off, Cajun. So we've had quite a turnout the last couple of days. And just to get ready for something that massive took a whole week just to put together.
So it sounds like some outrageous deals. Tampa Bay Outfitters, is that the name of the place?
Tampa Fishing Outfitters.
Tampa Fishing Outfitters. They have a website?
Yeah. They do, and it's Tampa Fishing Outfitters, but we really don't do that much online. Everything is there. You need to come by. We do very little online.
What part of Tampa are they in?
They're off Dale Mabry between Hillsborough and MLK, so kind of near the stadium.
Okay. At 50% off some of this stuff, man. That's I'm beginning to salivate. I'm glad I'm on the East Coast because I'd probably go broke buying. I was only going to buy some hooks, I swear.
Yeah, no, I've got name brand lures that are below wholesale cost. Again, we just have got to make room for some of the new stuff coming out.
Yeah.
But that's been a lot of work. The fishing over here has been great. Redfish, more and more people getting redfish. Cobia. Cobia is what everybody's talking about. Lots of cobia being caught. And still the tarpon fishing is still strong. Probably be strong through the next full moon.
How is the trout? The one thing I remember, I spent a little bit of time on several years on the West Coast up in the Panhandle. I was in the military at the time, stationed at Panama City. And the thing that I enjoyed the most was catching trout because they were very tasty, very easy to fillet, and very easy to catch. You didn't have to go through a whole lot. Is this still like that? You're still experiencing that? Is still some plentiful trout out there?
Well, the Panhandle is a different fishery than we have in Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay, we get our big trout in Tampa Bay, usually in the winter when they come in from the ocean. We still have a very good trout nursery. The red tide did give us a little bit of a hit. So right now on the West Coast, basically from a little north of Tampa Bay all the way down to the Everglades, it's catch and release on trout, redfish, and snook.
Oh.
Not allowed to keep any of them. Just because... I'm sorry?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, just because we got hit so hard with the red tide. Also, I'm sure Lisa talked about it, but CCA with Duke Power are releasing thousands of but redfish and snook back into these bay waters, as well as hundreds of breeder size. Thank goodness they're over slot, so hopefully when they do open back up for harvesting, nobody can harvest these breeders. But so we're looking at the area coming back. I've noticed more and more redfish, and people say, "Whoa, they grow fast." Maybe. But what it is, I think Tampa Bay has more charter captains per licensed angler than I think anywhere except Key West. And let's just say we have 300, and I know we have probably 3 times that amount in Tampa Bay, but let's just say we have 300 captains who go out, let's say just 3 days a week, and have 2 people on their boat, and usually they carry 4. If they could harvest just 1 fish, that's 2 times 3, that's 600 times 3 days a week. Start adding up how many redfish are harvested in 1 week. So just by eliminating that, and every now and then a fish isn't going to be totally revived, after you catch it, but still, just leaving those fish back in the water and returning them is really helping that redfish population come back.
Wow. So that's what, these are the benefits of conservation. That, again, we all get to enjoy it, and we're part of everybody. Right? That's what I like about it.
I hear every now and then I'll see somebody on, social media start complaining about it, blah, blah, blah. I should be able to keep whatever I want. But, there's a limit. There's a limit to what you can take out of the water and what you can do to nature. She does her best to heal thyself. But sometimes you just got to step back and let her do it and not keep taking. Give a little.
There was a time when you could do that. That time was many, many years ago when this place wasn't literally saturated with people doing what we're doing. And you could take what you wanted. And it really didn't affect it because there wasn't, again, the population wasn't as great as it is today. Today we have to, I think a better way to look at it for me is just to learn how to share. Share. Yep. Don't be so greedy. Anyway, it's that magic moment. We're going to take a break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Fish Florida Show this morning with Riscala and Pam. Here we go.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
What's up, Ricky Dillon here at the largest social media gathering in the world. So the internet is an amazing place, but sometimes it can be a not so great place with online bullying and trolling and stuff. Have you ever seen online bullying before?
Unfortunately, it's kind of common. Online, people can hide behind the internet. Those comment sections can be a little
harsh.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's a good word for it.
I've been called many homophobic names.
I felt embarrassed. I felt humiliated. It made me stop liking myself.
What if I told you there is something that you can use anytime that you see bullying online that calls attention to it in a nice way? Like, hey, that's not nice.
I wish that was the thing.
It's this! So anytime that you see any kind of hate online, go into your phone, go into the symbol section, post this I, and it says that that's bullying, that's not nice. So would you post this if you saw someone bullying someone?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like a lot more mature way to handle the situation.
Find the emoji in your phone, send it to 5 of your friends, and let them know what it means to be a witness.
Go to eyewitnessbullying.org to learn more about the emoji.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick of Bowen Realty. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion: air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick of Bowen Realty. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478. Diane Whittick at Bowen Realty, located in Wellington at Wellington Trace East and Forest Hill Boulevard. 561-247-5478.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework. It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclub.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Club. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
All right, we are back. It is the Fish Florida Show. Good morning to you. If you're just joining us, we have archives set up so you can catch up on anything that you missed. But we wanted to let you know that we are making it as easy as we can for you on the other side of the microphone to hear us. The easiest way, download the app. Next easiest way, if you're on your computer, you can go on Facebook, find us on Facebook, click on Contact Us. Don't want to go to Facebook, not a member on Facebook, you can go on the web, www.fishfloridashow.com, click on Listen Live, and you can listen to us that way. Don't have access to a computer, don't have a smartphone, but you've got unlimited time on your calling plan, you can call us 701-719-9704. Again, we try to make it as easy as we can for you on the other side of the microphone to listen in. This morning I've got Pam with me. She's one of the top female kayak anglers here in Florida. Brings a unique perspective because she's literally at the water's level and has caught some pretty hairy fish. Welcome back, Pam.
Thank you very much. I always enjoy the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to share with us. And I've got my next guest on. It's Mike Simko. Mike is with kitefishing.com. Mike is one of the people I have learned a tremendous amount about because I really didn't know a lot about kite fishing. To me, it seemed kind of silly to fly a kite, to go, it's what we used to tell kids when we were young. Somebody made, man, go fly a kite. Well, you can fly a kite, and let me tell you something. It helps your advantage in fishing. It can exponentially change the odds for you by having a kite out there. And it is not just simply flying a kite. There's a whole, you can get as sophisticated as you want, or you can get as simple as you want. These are all things that I've learned since meeting with Mike. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you, Mike. I greatly appreciate you calling in and sharing with us.
Hey, good morning, Riscala. Good morning, Pam. How are you guys?
Great, sir. Great. Have you been out fishing lately?
Well, I have been, but the weather has been so incredibly calm and nice. I haven't flown kites, I have to say, in the last week or two. And then we had mini season. This week, so it was a lobster kind of week.
Yep, I agree. It's a little hard to fly a kite and grab a lobster.
Exactly. I mean,
the long arms.
Yeah. So generally speaking, this time of year, July, August, the winds are very fair, and it seems that there's so many other things to do out there, particularly, running and gunning, chasing dolphin. There's, of course, mini season that starts in July and then picks back up in early August for lobster. And, sword fishing, the weather's so beautiful that sword fishing has also been a really, really popular thing to do this time of the summer. So that's kind of my focus right now.
Mike, when you go sword fishing, day or night?
Well, it started like almost everybody else, nighttime, because that was the popular thing to do. You could fish 4 lines.
Mm-hmm.
And then some folks, particularly the Stanzics down in Keys, perfected the day dropping technique and really were producing bigger fish by day. So we all kind of started migrating to the daytime thing. I still do night. I really enjoy the day fishing, particularly with manual reels. We don't use electric on my boat, so it's a little more challenging, and it's a lot of fun.
Wow. Well, yeah, you mentioned the captain down Stanzik, I think his name is, down in the Keys.
Yeah, Nick.
Nick,
Yep,
yeah.
Nick
He had an angler pull up a 700 and some odd pound swordfish, I guess about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago now. And we were trying to get him on to give us an update and bird's eye view of what went down. I can't imagine fighting a fish for 8 hours. I would be totally, completely shot. I don't think I could do anything else after that. But anyway, he was the one I was told is the swordfish whisperer. He is the one that
he really,
like you mentioned, he's perfected it. Because I went one time many years ago. Oh my gosh, it's probably 35 years ago. We went at night, and what I thought was funny, I mean, unusual, was they were fishing with mullet and ballyhoo, and they were stuffing these glow sticks in the bait. And I thought, well, how weird is that? Well, it's at night, and they want to be able to have the bait stand out. So this was how they did it. Didn't really come up with much that night. We came up with, I think we came up with one swordfish, really small swordfish, 300 or 400 pounds, wasn't very big. But I just thought it was the craziest thing in the world that, because I love being out there at night when it's calm, like you described. I've seen it where it's like a puddle. I'm literally like a puddle out there, hardly any movement at all during the daytime. And unfortunately, when it's like that and there's no wind or anything, it gets pretty unbearably hot. But at night, oh my goodness, on a full moon when it's like that, I loved it. And we were on a full moon that night pulling, and it was just gorgeous. Just nice cool breeze. You don't have to worry about the heat beating down on you, reflecting off the water, and just a great experience. But back then, that's what it was. If you wanted to go sword fishing, it was at night. So you see how far we've come. You talk about difference between night and day, huh? Literally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Mike, how deep are you fishing for swordfish in the day?
Well, we have a couple different levels of fishing that we try to do depending upon the day. If it's earlier in the morning, we like to go a little deeper, which could be as deep as 1,800 feet.
Holy moly!
And when the sun gets high, kind of the high noon thing, we'll move it in a little shallower because that just kind of works for us. And then later in the day, again, as it starts to get more into the evening, we'll move a little deeper back into that 16, 17, 1,800 foot mark. But we were just to kind of segue into what Riscala started with today. I rarely sailfish or swordfish without a kite flying. With a live bait attached to it, we'll drift some squid back, some dead squid back in the mix, and then we're deep dropping for swords. So we always have to add to the percentages of hookups. We have our sword baits deep. We got dolphin baits floating out there, behind the boat, at like 150, 250 feet away from the boat. And then a kite torqued off to the left on a southeast wind. Let's imagine the kite's torquing off to the west with a live bait, hoping for wahoo or big mahi.
Nice. Oh, yeah, that's the way to go. How do people reach you? You just sound so interesting to fish with.
Well, I have three real ways to reach me. One's kitefishing.com is the website, so you can find my contact information there. On Facebook, it's Kite Fishing Experts. And then, of course, I have a YouTube channel that's Mike Simko. So, there's many ways to find me.
Great.
And I like to help folks, especially the folks that are just beginning. That's really my favorite thing is getting folks into it and showing them another way to add to their spread.
I love it. And now I'm curious, when you're fishing at of course this is a downrigger, right? That you're using to get down there to 1,700 feet.
Well, it's a little different. We, some guys, to keep it IGFA legal, will fish with a huge, like an electric reel as a downrigger with 15 pounds of weight, 12, 15 pounds of weight to get to the bottom, and a big clip, just like you would kingfish with a downrigger.
Yep.
And it would keep the second rod, which is your primary fishing rod, separate. So if the sword bites the bait, pulls from the clip, and you're now independent. So you can hit up on your electric reel, get that out of the way, and now you're manually fighting. What I do is we make up with rebar 8-pound weights with rebar, steel rebar, and a little coat hanger that's slightly bent that hooks onto the hook of the bait. And the minute it goes straight down to the bottom, and when we have our line marked so that we know when we're getting close. So let's say it's 1,600 feet. When I get to the 1,500 foot mark, I let that thing free fall as fast as it can fall. The weight hits the bottom, falls off the hook, and now I'm basically direct the hook.
How clever! Wow, wow.
So, and it's been a really fun way. So, when you direct the hook and you're using a real lightweight, now I have another lightweight that's 150 feet from the base. It's real easy to bring up. Now, granted, it's still 2,000 feet of line. That can be tedious, but we drift a long time. We'll drift an hour or more before we try to check baits.
I do kind of the same thing because there is a downrigger that you can use on kayaks, but I find all that weight on one side of the boat is, for me, a little unnerving. I don't like it. So right. I'll take, I call it a teardrop weight, and of course I'm not going that deep, but I'll take a teardrop weight, put a rubber band through it, and then loop it onto my line about 25 yards before the bait. And when it really sinks the bait nicely for me. And when I reel it back in, all I have to do is cut that rubber band. The weight will fall right back into the boat, and I can reel it straight up and not have to worry about it.
That's pretty good. I use that same technique. We call it it's almost like a knocker rig. And if you want to save the weight, let's say if you're fishing by yourself, you can wind right through that rubber band. It'll just it usually pushes it straight down as close to the bait as you want to get.
Exactly. We just call it a poor man's downrigger. And for grouper fishing, I kind of do the same thing for grouper fishing, because instead of a knocker weight where if the weight gets caught, you lose your whole rig. And if you're using a 100-pound leader, that's in a kayak, it's a little harder to break to try to get it back up. So with the rubber band, breaks a little easier if it gets caught in the rocks, and that way the only thing you're losing is the weight and not your whole setup.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Clever stuff.
That's fantastic.
I like it.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So that's part of it. Poor man's downrigger is just another way to, define technical fishing. It's just all these little techniques that have come from inshore fishermen, offshore fishermen, commercial guys. So we just try to take all that knowledge and make it simpler and easier for the new type of fish that we're targeting. And it's great.
So if I, in my mind, if I see this correctly, you're kind of drifting when you're sword fishing, right? Well, obviously you're in 1,700 feet. You're not anchored, but I mean, you're not like trolling. You're just kind of going with the water.
That's funny you ask, because now you're in the Gulf Stream, so the current can be very heavy. It can be 4 knots of current, sometimes even more. So you adjust your weight. You can add some weight on a heavier current, but you do want to point the boat to the south, so you're bucking the current. So I keep it. I'm looking at my speed over ground. I'm looking for something around 2 knots. And so if it's pushing me 4 knots to the north, I want to be nosing it into the current to kind of buck that tide. So 2 knots is the magic number for me. I like that, and it keeps the bait pretty much straight down below the boat when all things are working. And that's it. So and again, it's like any type of fishing. The further you get away from the bait, the less in touch with it you are, as far as who's messing with it, who's biting it, if they pick it up, how tight you can get and how fast. So we like to keep it straight below the boat as best we possibly can. And that comes with a little practice. So we drop it down, and then we start moving to the south at, let's just say, 1 or 2 knots to stem the tide, and then watch the GPS and keep it at 2 knots.
So are you almost at a still point between you fighting the current going against you, and say the current's at 4 and you're up at around 2? Are you almost at a standstill, or are you still moving forward?
You're still sliding to the north with the tide.
Okay, so you're actually going backwards.
To the north.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that keeps it. that works out really well for another reason. I mean, it gives you a little more time in the nice areas, the nice bottom structure that we like to fish. So, you know, rather than ripping across that at 4 knots and, you know, your bait kind of flying above the reef or above the rubble that's on the bottom, we like to keep it right there kind of close and leave it there a little longer.
How far offshore are you going to get to this depth?
So where I am, which is Palm Beach area, is generally use the rule of thumb that for every mile is 100 feet of depth. So if it's it just kind of works out pretty close to this. 1,600 feet is 16 miles offshore.
Wow.
2,000 is 20 miles offshore, etc.
So it's similar to the Keys. The Keys was kind of like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
That's right.
That's a lot of boating. You're halfway to Bimini at that point, right?
Spoiled.
I'm
we're
sorry?
Still spoiled. I mean, 20 miles offshore, we have, you know, it's nothing compared to areas I've fished like in the Northeast Canyons, Hydro Canyon, 100 miles offshore. You know, these guys in the Carolinas, they're running, you know, 40 to 70 miles out. Daytona Beach, you know, we were snapper fishing at 40 miles offshore.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah. So we're kind of spoiled here in South Florida, I do have to say. Even you over in the West Coast, the middle grounds is, how far is that? 80, 100?
Yeah, it's easily 80 to 100 to get out to the middle grounds. It's an overnight trip usually.
Good gravy.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Well, Mike, thank you for taking the time to call in and share with us. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll be looking forward to getting updates from you. And I am truly grateful for the information that I've learned a lot from you, and I'm hoping that people on the other side of the microphone have learned a lot as well. I've said from day one, I don't pretend to know everything. The show isn't focused at professionals. There's plenty of shows out there for professionals. This is for the average person, really intended to help the family, really. In my life's experience, fishing is what really played a vital part of our family. It helped us, you know, do things together and enjoy that experience together. And that's why I do what I do. And the secondary reason is I learn. And I've learned a lot from you, and I greatly appreciate it. You share your technique, you share your information, and that's priceless.
Well,
you can't put a price on that.
That's why I like the show. That's why I like the show, Rich Gallen. It gets the beginners, you know, kind of tuned up and excited about fishing, and that's what I like too. So,
well, thank you, my friend. I wish you a wonderful day. I'm going to give Pam an opportunity to say goodbye, and we'll go to a break.
Yes, thank you again. I always enjoy talking with you. You've got interesting insights and just your techniques. I appreciate it, and I'm sure our listeners do too.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it, and see you guys next time.
Wish you well.
Okay. Take care.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
From the author of Silent Steps and Haunted, Finding an Explanation for the Unknown, comes a story so chilling it will haunt you for years to come. Krista is a young woman escaping her past, running away from her family, her traumas, and her God, hoping to find a new life in a different town. But when she is forced to make a horrible choice, she comes to realize malevolent entities have controlled the true darkness she has been a part of. That is when her real terror begins. Penitence is disturbing and evocative. It will tear down the walls between what is real and what is nightmare. Penitence is the new novel by the man called the new master of speculative fiction, Ira Robinson. Find it and all of his books at his website, originalworlds.com.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today. 561-793-9992. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, where your pet gets celebrity treatment.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off at school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I grabbed my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
All right, we are back. It is the Fish Florida Show. Good morning to you if you're just joining us. And thank you for those of you who have hung on and tuned us in first thing in the morning. We greatly appreciate it. I've got Pam Worth with me this morning. She is one of the top female kayak anglers here in Florida. And she brings a unique perspective because she's literally on the surface of the water. And shares with us a variety of ways of some of the techniques that she has and some of the information that she's run across. She's been doing it for a little while, a couple of days anyway. So we're back, Pam, and thank you for taking the time to call in. I'm going to hear from Stacy here in just a minute. She just texted me and said she's in a bad area, so she's going to try to get into a better area. And we'll hear from her in a moment. I like what Stacy does. I haven't had her on in a while. You got a boat and you need somebody to go fishing with you, because I remember the days when I had my boat, and unfortunately it was a little too large for me to handle by myself. It was a 24-foot Wellcraft, and I loved. I was a firm believer, if you're going to have a boat, you better use it, because if you don't, you're just going to sit there and rot. So I every opportunity I had, I would, at least one time a week, I would be out on a boat, typically on Sundays, but sometimes a couple of times a week. We'd find places to go, and it was hard sometimes to find somebody to go with me. So I had a boat, but I couldn't have anybody to take with me, so I couldn't go fishing on my boat. She has a unique answer to that. And then if you're somebody who wants to go fishing and you don't have a boat, and you'd like to find somebody who has a boat that's, maybe they're going to go fishing, next week or something, She has a unique answer to that as well. So we'll find out from her in just a minute about that. Right? Have you met Stacy? I don't know if I've introduced Stacy to you before.
I've talked to Stacy on the show. I've chatted with Stacy on the show, but I haven't personally met her.
Yeah.
It's a clever idea.
Yeah,
I think it's very
love
clever.
It. Yeah, I think it's great because it puts people together. And I know in my day there were times when I really wanted to go, but just didn't work out. There was nobody around, and people had already made commitments, and and here I was holding my fishing rod, crying. So anyway, we should hear from her.
The moral of the story is get a smaller boat.
Or get a kayak where the idea that comes to mind when I think of a kayak is just absolute independence. It's not so heavy that you can't literally pick it up and drag it. I mean, if you're on the beach, you could drag it right to the water, right?
Oh yeah, and the one that I have, my paddler, I can easily pick that up and cart it anywhere I want.
And then you have pedal power
that has with the pedal drive. You just put it on like a little cart that has wheels, and you can take it wherever you want to. Most people just throw it in the back of their pickup or throw it on top of the roof. I happen to trailer mine just because for me that's the easiest way for me to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
But pull over to the side of the road and take the kayak off and you're in the water. You're fishing within 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, to me that's a form of independence that you can't really get. Of course, the boats have their advantage and all that, but that particular component of it all is a form of independence that you're not going to find as a boat owner because it's all up to you. You don't have to worry about finding a boat ramp or some of the boat ramps. I remember some of the boat ramps that I went to that I'd never been the first time. I went, oh my God, people put boats in here? There's no way. Some of them were one of them, John Pennekamp, that was one of the worst boat ramps I'd ever been to in my life. My gosh, it had to be like a 45-degree angle there at John Pennekamp. Difficult as all get out to get in and out. There was another one at Jewfish Creek. I don't think they call it that anymore, but that's what we used to call it. Where it was literally a drop-off. The ramp went into the water about maybe 10 feet if you're lucky. And then from there it was 10, 20 feet deep from that point. So if your wheels went over that, it was a nightmare to get your trailer back up. So some of so things like that you don't have to worry about that with a kayak. You just literally put it in the water and go. From what I understand, it's only inches. When the paddle board is not hooked up, it's just inches is all you need, right?
Yeah, probably maybe 6 inches at the most.
Wow. Yeah, so you could start out literally in off a sandbar.
Oh yeah.
Correct. So I really want to get into kayaking more. I haven't really had the pleasure of doing it. I had a canoe I actually got it for my kids because I lived on the canal for a while, and I found an 18-foot canoe for them that had a cut off in the back, so we put a little electric motor on there, and then we go cruising the canals, having fun up and down the canals. I never did a kayak thing, though. I was always concerned with the kayak that clumsy me would flip over. Then I wouldn't be able to flip back up and end up drowning.
I don't know. I've been in the canoe. To me, canoes are a little tippier than kayaks.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that'll be interesting.
At least the canoes I've been in.
I really want to do that experience. And the paddle that you have, you explained it to me one time, and I envisioned long before that. I just thought it was a little prop down there that you were pedaling, but it's not. It's some kind of like a flipper, right? Like you put on flippers like when you go diving.
There's 2 different methods of locomotion for let's call them drive kayaks that have some sort of foot power.
Mm-hmm.
Hobie has something called the Mirage Drive, which is like a fin or a flipper that goes back and forth. A number of the other kayak companies have gone to a pedal drive, which is like riding a bicycle, and it turns a prop.
Oh, it does?
So
okay.
Those are basic, mine is more prop driven.
Yeah,
that's why.
That's what I envisioned.
Nice.
Yeah, when you originally.
I have a seat that has lumbar support. You're kind of leaning back like a lounge chair. Your feet are slightly elevated and you're pedaling. It also makes for a great fighting chair. Fighting platform for your big pelagic fish.
Wow.
Because you're nicely braced in there.
Wow.
And if for some reason the fish does get behind you, which is you never want to fight a big fish behind you, is all you have to do is pull your rod toward the nose of your kayak, and your kayak will turn toward
around.
the fish. It'll turn toward, that weight.
How cool is that?
So,
well, if
it's a blast.
If you're one of those who doesn't have a kayak and you don't have a boat, we have a unique answer for you, and that unique answer comes from a young lady by the name of Stacy. Good morning, Stacy. How are you, my dear?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Go ahead, Pam.
We're doing fine over here. Yeah, we're doing fine over here. I love your concept, which you've developed. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's called fishwithme.net, and it's basically using technology of the internet to find local fishing buddies. So it functions similar to any fishing club, local fishing club that you would join, but instead it kind of opens it up a little bit more because it's a nationwide platform, so you can jump on there, enter your town, and you can see who's looking for fishing buddies in the area.
Okay, so in short, basically, you match people up, people who want to go fishing with maybe a boat owner who kind of would like company.
Yeah, exactly. So the reason I developed the app a few years ago was my mom lives on Big Pine Key, and she's a crazy, loves fishing. She's so good at it. Comes back with a cooler. She's like 85, still gets out on the water.
God bless her.
As often as she can. She's amazing.
Wow.
Anyway, she was complaining that she just it was hard to find fishing buddies. People are busy. They're working, they got families, responsibilities or whatever. And even though she has tons of friends, she just couldn't find enough people ready and willing to go when she wanted to go. And, the Florida Keys it's like when it's time to fish, you got to go fishing because you never know when the wind's going to start blowing again. You can't get out for a week or two. So,
absolutely.
So that's where we came up with the idea because we had looked around and there weren't any very active fishing clubs in the lower Keys. There was, there's a lot of charters. You can go hire really good charter folks all up and down the Keys, that's for sure. But not a lot of clubs that were helping people kind of find each other and go fishing together. And so we developed the app and start using it, and it's been a few years now that it's been up and running, and I think just through using the app ourselves, we've developed some really good friendships with more than a dozen people that now we go fishing with on a regular basis, and then if they're not available, we continue to go back to the app and post, and we're always meeting new people. And again, it's not, it can be used for charters. Charter guys we do have 2 levels of membership, and if a charter guy wants to use that site to try to find some customers, he or she can totally do that. They can go on there and post, that they're a charter captain, and we've unlocked the pricing for them because we designed the app for fishing buddies. So Coast Guard regulations say you can share costs with your buddy, but you can't charge somebody more than what it costs you to go fishing. You can just only split costs.
Yeah. Otherwise,
so
you have to be commercial.
Yeah. Right. So we had locked the pricing lower, and we watched those what people are asking for their buddies to pitch in. We kind of monitor that and make sure that nobody's trying to run like an illegal charter or something like that through the app. And we've had 0 problems with that. So
Stacy,
you go on there and you list, I'm going fishing on the reef and I want $50 or $60 or, whatever you think you're going to spend on gas and bait and chum. And you post it on there, and people that are looking for, that are either visiting or their boat's down or they want to try somebody else's boat or whatever, you can get matched up on there.
And it works both ways. It works if you have a boat, and it works if you don't. That's what I like about it. If you don't have a boat, you can find somebody who's got
a boat.
Yep.
Right. It works if you don't have a boat. Our boat was in the shop the other day for a while, so we went on and we went with other people. So, we didn't have to miss a really good fishing day just because the boat was in the shop getting fixed. And the other thing that's so fun about it too is you learn something. I mean, everybody knows something and a little bit different than what you've done before. And I think that's really fun to kind of, see different ways, just different techniques and different tips and places that people go. And, an example is we had never been very good at catching yellowtail. We just always seemed, we could catch a lot of them, but they were just legal, they're 12, 14 inches, and we kept hearing these people saying, oh, there's big flags, man, the flags are really hitting today. We came back with our limit, and we're like, where are these flags? We can't seem to find them ever.
Take me there.
And we went out fishing with somebody one time, and she doesn't even have a boat, and has never had a boat, just has always gone out with other people. And she took us to a spot and showed us how to use oatmeal to cloud up the water. And we did really good.
Wow.
And so now we kind of figured it out, and so that's kind of neat, just learning little tips here and there kind of thing.
That's like the icing on the cake there. And the extra little secrets, so to speak, that you learn, and along with the relationships, like you mentioned, you build relationships, which is...
Oh, yeah, and that was a real unexpected joy kind of from using the site. Is there's probably 2 or 3 folks that we've just developed really deep relationships now. We go out fishing, and after we get back and we clean everything up and clean the fish and stuff, we'll sit down, we'll have dinner together, and doing other stuff together outside of fishing, just because that relationship's so deep, and it's just fun getting together and talking fishing.
That's awesome. All right, my dear. Well, I'm sorry you came on a little late, sir. We're running out of time. I've got to cut it short.
Oh, no worries. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity. Before we go, it is fishwithme.net. Is that correct? Yes, www.fishwithme, all one word, .net, N-E-T.
And are you on?
And memberships are free. It doesn't cost anything. Just go on there and create an account and start looking for buddies.
Are you on social anywhere? Any of the social medias?
Yeah, we've got a Facebook and Twitter, so we're out there. Yep.
And it's all under Fish With Me.
And it's all under Fish With Me. It's pretty easy to find.
Stacy, thank you.
Google it; it'll come up too.
Greatly appreciate it, my friend. Let me let Pam say goodbye to you, and we'll go on to our break. Go ahead, Pam. Thank you, Stacy.
Yeah, thanks again. I've got to get on that app and check it out. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Pam. You're awesome. You're one of my heroes. I really enjoy listening to you.
Oh, you're very sweet.
Right, here we go.
For the show with your host,
all right, take care.
So long.
Bye-bye. We'll be right back.
What's up, Ricky Dillon here at the largest social media gathering in the world. So the internet is an amazing place, but sometimes it can be a not so great place with online bullying and trolling and stuff. Have you ever seen online bullying before? Unfortunately, it's kind of common. Online, people can hide behind the internet. Those comment sections can be a little...
harsh.
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
That's a good word for it.
I've been called many homophobic names. I felt embarrassed. I felt humiliated. It made me stop liking myself.
What if I told you there is something that you can use anytime that you see bullying online that calls attention to it in a nice way? Like, hey, that's not nice.
I wish that was the thing.
It's this! So anytime that you see any kind of hate online, go into your phone, go into the symbol section, post this I, and it says that's bullying. That's not nice. So would you post this if you saw someone bullying someone?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like a lot more mature way to handle the situation.
Find the emoji in your phone, send it to 5 of your friends, and let them know what it means to be a witness.
Go to eyewitnessbullying.org to learn more about the emoji.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick of Bowen Realty. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion: air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick of Bowen Realty. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478. Diane Whittick at Bowen Realty, located in Wellington at Wellington Trace East and Forest Hill Boulevard. 561-247-5478.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework.
He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
All right, we are back. It is the Fish Florida Show. An honor and a privilege to have you join us and allow us to share with you this morning. I've got Pam with me. She is one of the top female kayak anglers here in Florida. She's always bringing a unique perspective to the table. Welcome back, Miss Pam.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.
And, earlier I said about the icing on the cake. Well, here comes the icing on the cake. I got Captain Clyde Folse, who is also known as the crappie psychic. He is the one of the only ones that I know who is a psychic when it comes to catching a particular kind of fish. And I believe it's referred to as the crappie. And he has another name for it, the Louisiana name. And I can't think of it right off the bat. Good morning, Captain Clyde.
Good morning, Riscala. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine, my friend. Go ahead, Pam.
Oh, me too. Everybody's doing well down here. You had that storm that came up by you a couple weeks ago. How are y'all doing?
We're doing fine. Really, for us, it really wasn't anything. I mean, we're used to quite a bit worse than that. And, Florida is used to quite a bit worse than that too. So we were fortunate that it was small, and it just gave us a good bit of rain. That's about all we got from it.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't. It could have really turned out to be a disaster, and I'm glad it turned out better for you guys. Sakole, I think, was the name that I was trying to think of.
That is correct. It means a sack of milk.
Tasty fish.
Very tasty. As far as I'm concerned, it's very, very hard to beat.
And you are an individual. This man is so good at what he does. Either a college or a university, one of the two of them, have hired him to teach the kids, which I think is phenomenal. I think it's just amazing. You're going to teach the kids how to fish, right? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, well, it's Crappie University, and what they do is they go to different universities across the country, and it's for everybody. I mean, I have couples that come in that are in their 70s.
Oh, I thought it was just for students.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, it's for anybody in the general public.
Oh, my.
And it's an all-day affair, and there's 3 different pros that teach. My course is 2.5 hours long, and they feed lunch. They give lunch to everybody that goes, and it's a pretty good deal. I mean, it's $90 a person, but you get a lot of information, on everything from electronics to techniques like I teach, and different equipment to use. It's a lot of information's given out. It's well worth it.
It's an investment in happiness. You can't put a price on that.
Right. I wanted to tell you something real quick. First, my voice is I'm a little bit hoarse. We just finished a huge show here. It was the Grand Isle, Louisiana Tarpon Rodeo, and we didn't. By the time it ended, and we didn't get home till 2 a.m. this morning.
Oh my goodness!
And and it was 3 days, and I talk a lot, and then when the music starts playing, you got to talk louder to your customers, so you can have a conversation. So I'm a little bit hoarse. I apologize for that.
Oh, you sound great.
And well, I appreciate it. But one thing I did want to tell you is we had our first bait, an actual bait. What we're known for is our scented trailers that you use to enhance your lures, whatever you're fishing with, including live bait. Well, we actually have a lure now. We came out. It's not our design. We fell in love with it. We saw it in Indianapolis, Indiana at one of our shows. And it's a very small swim bait. It's 2.5 inches long, and we call it the petite minnow. We always kind of try and keep a little bit of our Cajun heritage in our names and marketing.
Yeah.
And it works really well across the board. We've tried it already on Sakale, crappie. It works well on bass, and it also catches sea trout like you wouldn't believe. Of course, we call them specks, but you guys call crappie specks there in Florida.
Do.
But another thing I wanted to tell you on top of that is the last time I was on the radio with you, I talked about a technique I started using for crappie fishing, and the 2 people you had on, it wasn't Pam, it was 2 other people, a young lady and another guy, and they were saltwater people, and they were very excited about it. Well, I just want to let you know that some of my captains have tried it on the saltwater, especially on sea trout, and it works phenomenal. It's just awesome how it works. So remember, I was telling you before you tie your jig head on, you take a small willow leaf blade, very small for the crappie. I use one that's maybe 1/8 of an inch long. But on the speckled trout, they used one that was like 1/4 of an inch long. And you just put it on your line. Then you tie your jig head on. And every time you move it, you pop it, that little spinner, that little willow leaf blade will spin up on your line and then spin back down toward your jig head. And does wonders for crappie fishing, and now we know it does wonders for sea trout also.
Cool.
That's interesting.
It just gives that added flash. Now on the crappie side, I use a little gold leaf, but one of my captains found some that's colored. So he got a chartreuse willow leaf blade that's painted in a pink one, bright pink. And he's tried both of those, and he said he loves them. He said he could tell it made a difference.
What a good trick.
I like the idea that more flash, more flicker, if you will.
Exactly. There's something to get their attention.
That anything to kind of up the odds for you. So that's a neat secret. Yeah, I remember you sharing that, and I think it may have been Angelia.
Yes, it was.
She got an amazing, I call it a gig, a job, a temporary job. She's up in Alaska.
I saw that.
She's the captain of this beautiful yacht, and she's just having the experience of her life, and I just envy her so much I want to kick her. I want to kick her. She is just having a great time. She's sent some pictures, catching some crabs, catching some, what are they called? A big flounder? Halibut. Halibut.
Yeah.
Catching some halibut, and the latest one, looks like she was standing in a stream or something alongside a boat and caught what appears to be looks like a salmon or a trout. Probably a salmon up there. But just having a heck of a time up there. She'll be back at the end of the summer, and she's going to be sharing a lot of this stuff with us from time to time. She was kind enough to call in, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, and shared with us a heck of an experience. My gosh, that's going to be lifelong memories she's building up there. Just amazing. With the orcas, she's got a video of the orcas. Oh, my goodness. I got to stop talking about it. I could go on for the whole show for that. Yeah, it's just amazing.
We are going to be, our next show, which we're leaving this week, will be in Jackson, Mississippi. It's there. It's called the Extravaganza. And, we're going to be very busy now till the end of March. This is kicking off our season. We only get a break like April and May. It's kind of slow as far as show seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to be in Jackson, Mississippi this upcoming weekend for the Extravaganza. And that's a pretty good show for us. And then, of course, when 2020 gets here, we'll be traveling all over the country again. And, we're just trying to get exposure because, Riscala, we're still a small family-owned business. It's just me, myself, and my son and my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And we just celebrated 5 years this July in business.
God bless.
We still own 100% of our business.
Great.
So we're doing it slow. We're growing slowly. We're gradually introducing new things. And we've had many opportunities to take on investors. But we thought about it. And, of course, an investor wants a piece of your company.
Sure.
And we just decided to go through the growing pains and to, just everything we make, just roll it back into the company and grow it slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, we've been blessed to the extreme. This is a blessing that I get to talk to you and Pam on Sundays every now and then and get some exposure there in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And what's been so really just awesome for us is when people use our trailers, our scented trailers, they just absolutely fall in love with them. And I have pros that are using them. We're winning tournaments in Louisiana, Mississippi. We're taking first place in crappie tournaments. We're placing in the saltwater. We haven't gotten at first place yet, but we've gotten in the top 10. From some of the pros that are using them there.
Wow.
But it's only a matter of time before we take some first place on the saltwater side. So It's been a tremendous blessing for us, and people are just absolutely crazy about our trailers and what they do for them when they go out there fishing.
Wow. Well, I want to thank.
How do people find you? If somebody wanted to.
Yeah, we do have a website. It's thecrappiepsychic.com. And we have Facebook, Crappie Sidekick. We have Twitter. We have Instagram. So we're out there. but we're not so well known yet. I don't know how Google works, but when you search crappie or crappie lures, we're not coming up within the first 3 or 4 pages, and most people only look at the first page. So we're struggling on trying to get a little bit more exposure, so when people look for crappie or crappie lures or crappie baits, that we maybe can make the first page, maybe toward the bottom of the first page, but at least, get on the first page when people are searching.
All right, my friend, we are all out of time. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. Looking forward to having you back on with an update. We are completely out of time. Thank you, Pam. I wish you a wonderful day, my dear. And thank you, listeners. We'll be back in a week.